All your favorite wrestling shows rolled into one. Welcome to the We Book It podcast. Let's start the show.
Welcome in, everybody, to another episode of the We Book It podcast. I am your host. Wait a minute. Hold on. Okay, I almost gave you my government. I am your host, and Virgil, the Book It CEO. I am also the former Book It World Champion, soon to be two-time Book It World Champion after I take Coaches Championship this coming Saturday night at Saturday night's main event. Now, with that being said, y'all, listen, we are talking about who's next at NXT. And you guys, this is my favorite subject to carry and talk about, just because there's so much great talent in NXT right now, so much good storylines. And Shawn Michaels is consistently putting on some of the best. That's right, some of the best wrestling that we have seen on television. So, again, the show opens up with a recap of Halloween Havoc, where we did crown a new women's NXT champion, where we did crown a new women's NXT North American champion, where we also saw Ricky Saints retain his NXT championship also. So, there's a montage of talent arriving at the arena, and then it's interrupted by none other than himself, Trick Williams. Trick Williams in the control room, yelling at the crew members and trying to hunt absolute Ricky Saints down. He rushes all the way down to the ring and gets on the microphone. He tells the crowd to shut up and tells Saints that he gave him the best he had, and 99 times out of 100, he'd have beaten his ass. He beat him like a drum, like that bum that he is, and he demands one more, not two more, one more title match, saying he's not leaving until he gets it. Then enter in NXT General Manager Ava Raine, who's flanked by security guards. Raine says if he wants to have a conversation like an adult, she can do that, but this temper tantrum isn't going to do it. And there's no controversy. Williams just lost. Trick sputters and insists he's still the biggest star around and recounts his many achievements and accolades. And then out of nowhere enters in the champ. That's right, the man in NXT, Ricky Saints. He says that's all real big talk for a guy that got his ass beat, and the security breaks them up as they brawl. So yeah, like I said, it was one of those things where, Trick Williams wasn't going, man. He lost, but he isn't over his loss yet, and he refuses to let it end like this. He wants another shot at the NXT Championship, and you can't blame him for it. Then after that, we move on to Axiom versus Jasper Troy for the WWE Speed's Men's #1 Contenders Tournament Finals. So Axiom obviously was going to use his speed in this match, with probing kicks and a big slap and ducking and dodging and sleeper holds and different things like that. But you already know the bigger, more stronger Jasper Troy was going to eventually take over in this match. And Jasper Troy wins this match by pinfall with the Black Hole Slam, becoming the #1 contender for the WWE Men's Speed Championship. And in case you wonder what that championship looks like, yeah, it's for C right here. What's up, man? The WWE Speed Championship. This is what that belt looks like. Backstage after this, we see Ava Raine chatting with Sol, Ruca, and Zarina. Raine says she spoke to the doctors and Sol is making a lot of progress, but she still has no in-ring return date. Ruca says she's feeling better and she's not on crutches anymore. And then Ava asks her about the WWE Speed Women's Championship. Sol says she's going to just relinquish it and focus on her rehab and winning back both titles. And Zarina is getting really pissed as this happens. As you can see, Zarina feels like Sol Ruca should have trusted her to defend that Speed Championship, but how could she when Blake Monroe beat her for the North American Women's Championship just the night before? I don't blame Sol Ruca. Like I said, I don't trust Zarina either, and they're really making her out to be the weak link right now. They're really setting them up for a turn once Sol Ruca is fully healthy and rack ready. Expect Zarina to turn on her and become a heel, which I think she's going to be a great heel. She's already got the fantastic look for it. Just expect that to come. Next up, the Culling make their entrance, and the newly crowned NXT Women's Champion, Tatum Paxley, gets on the mic. She lets out a big, excited, "We did it!" And Tatum chants "Rain Down." She says she's dreamt of this moment for so long, and Halloween Havoc was the best night of her entire life, and she's excited to come back here and share it with everyone. But it's not about her holding the title, it's about what the title represents. So never forget the heartache she went through to get to this moment, when it felt like this moment was never going to come. Opportunities are rare, but when she got hers, she made the most of it. She knows she can be a little bit too much, but if this creepy weirdo can be the NXT Women's Champion, then anyone can be. That was your typical prototypical babyface type promo, and making herself one with the crowd, allowing them to see the real side of her. She also says she wants to be a fighting champion and a fair door for everyone in the locker room. Then Izzy Dame cuts her off and says she doesn't picture her as that kind of champion and also so she can lose the title as fast as she wanted. She says with love, it's been a long 4 years for Paxley, but she's made it, and no one is happier for her than she is. But she has to remember something. She chased that title for a long time and came up short every single time. And so if it were up to her, she'd make everyone earn their shot just like Tatum did. Paxley says no, she's going to do this and it's going to be amazing. She's heard we were upset we didn't have the wheel for Halloween Havoc, so she brought it back with a twist. She's going to spin it, and whatever name comes up gets a title match against her tonight. That's right. So Tatum Paxley was going to defend her championship tonight. She leads the Culling up to the stage and pulls the cover off the wheel as he tries to talk her out of it. And Sean Spears points out Dame's names isn't on it. Tatum says, "Of course it isn't. They never fight for the title because nothing can come between them." Dame again tries to stop her, but Tatum insists, and Lola Vice has won the match tonight. After this, we cut to backstage where Trick Williams is storming backstage looking for Ricky Saints and Ava Rain. OTM are no help, and he walks past Ren Sinclair and Kendall Gray chatting. Sinclair's doing a bad job at giving her a pep talk about Lash Legend, and Gray says she's not backing down, and tonight she's putting herself on the map. Ren says Lash is going to find herself in the gray area. You get it? And tries to talk about the Ren QCC thing, but Kendall has to get going. Ren hangs back, but Kendall comes back and says if she's not coming out to the ringside, but Sinclair runs along to send us to break. So next up, we got Kendall Gray versus Lash Legend for the Evolve Women's Championship. Now, again, I've told you guys before, I think Lash Legend, when she gets a little bit more polished, is going to be an amazing star for WWE. I think she has all the tools to be somebody that you can really put your horse on. So Legend shoves Gray around a little bit out of the tags and then reverse, and she basically stampedes her. She's using her skill, her size, and everything like that, and just really dominating Kendall Gray for majority of the match. Towards the end, Kendall Gray takes control, throwing Lash back inside, and then Ren Sinclair cheering her on. Up top, she goes for a crossbody. She gets caught for a fireman's carry, but the hot shot connects, and then Kendall ducks a pump kick and hops up and wins with Shades of Gray by pinfall, retaining her Evolve Women's Championship. Post-match, Ren and Kendall throw up the catch point handshake together. And then, like I said, we see that these guys are on the same page as of right now until they end up eventually feuding, probably for that Women's Evolve Championship. Back from commercial break, Lola Vice and Tatum Paxley chat backstage. Vice congratulates Tatum on her victory and apologizes in advance for knocking her out and becoming the new NXT Women's Champion. Paxley says she loves her passion and she worked her ass off for the title, but nobody's getting as easy a win out of her. Then Izzy Dame rolls up and tries to convince Tatum that chatting with Lola is a bad idea, but Paxley isn't having it. And then we get a recap of Trick and Ricky brawling through in our opening segment. Next up, it's time for Miles Bourne versus Tavion Heights. These two have had really, really great matches since Tavion Heights has been a part of NXT. I think these two go really well together. like lemon and lime. It just works. It makes sense, like peanut butter and jelly. So you knew that this match was going to be a great match. You had a lot of good moments within this match. A lot of back and forth between these two. But the match comes to an end when Miles Bourne gets the better of Tavion Heights and wins with a small package. Post-match, Heights and Bourne embrace. As Tavion goes to leave, Josh Briggs attacks him, and Miles tries to decide whether to intervene. And then Trick Williams attacks him from behind with a steel chair. Then Williams calls Ricky Saints out, and Saints rushes down, and they brawl continuously as security tries to pull both men apart. Then Ricky dives off the steel steps, and we cut away. These two, Ricky Saints and Trick Williams, have been going back and forth all night. I do like the fact that Trick Williams did attack uh Miles Bourne from behind, because that's going to set up a match between those two, which I think is also going to be a very, very good match. The Culling make their entrance, which sends us to break. Back for commercial break, All Ego Ethan Page and Chelsea Green are walking and talking about their AAA Mixed Tag Team Championship match coming up, and Page asks Green to figure out the security situation. All Ego likes their dynamic, but asks about her efforts to replace Piper Niven. Then Tia Hale sings Joe Hendry's theme song as he pops out of a trash can, offers some advice for their tag team title match, but Paige isn't interested, and they walk off. Could Joe Hendry be next in line to win the NXT North American Championship? I would not mind that if he is going to be the one to beat Ethan Page for that championship, but only if Ethan Page is headed to the main roster should he lose that title, because he has been doing work with that championship. I mean, defending it all over the globe. Really is one of the best North American champions. So we go next to the NXT Women's Championship match that is main eventing. Is going to be Lola Vice versus Tatum Paxley. Lola Vice looked and just wrestled way better than Tatum Paxley in this match. But this match is going to wrestle to a no contest as a brawl breaks out between Izzy Dame. Tatum and Lola are going back and forth. The fatal influence around them and on the three sides of the apron, and they begin to take them out as a brawl ensues. Post-match, the brawl continues with that damn numbers game working out for the fatal influence. Vice is taken care of. Tatum mounts a valiant defense but gets boots to her, and then a rolling elbow as we go to break. Back from commercial break, we get the NXT Women's North American Champion, Blake Moreau, sends a promo from her bathtub with the Maybelline liquid lipstick on the edge of the tub. And she says that the locker room was chasing her, and says her first title defense will be in New York City. Looks like they're going to be playing a big weekend. I know Monday Night Raw, John Cena's last Monday Night Raw, will be from New York City. It looks like they're planning pretty much probably to do all their shows from New York City for that weekend, which I don't mind. Excuse me. Next up, we get an NXT Anonymous video where Javon Neves is chatting on the phone with Leon Slater about the show so far and talks about going after the tag team titles. Next thing you know, Dark State rolls up to tell him he's out of his damn mind if he thinks an exhibition match against Mr. Iguana and La Parker is enough to earn a shot against the ones who beat the GOATs, and promise to see him real soon. Next up, we got Jordynne Grace making her entrance to send us to break. Back from break, Ruca are interviewed on the way out of the arena. Zarina says she's entering the speed tournament and winning the title back for both of them. Again, she's going to try, but she's going to fail, unfortunately. Fatal Influence roll up, and JC Jane tells her to shut it. She's not the only woman who lost the title this week, and says that she and Fatal Influence are going to take it to Lola Vice and the staff portion of the culling next week. After this, we get the Jordynne Grace versus Kelani Jordan TNA Knockouts World Title match. Love that they're doing this match on NXT. Would have loved it even more on TNA, but it is also to get more notoriety to the NXT. I mean, to the TNA brand. So I get why they're doing it, but again, like I said, I still wish that TNA would get some more NXT on their shows. But Kelani Jordan wins by pinfall with a lateral press, retaining the TNA Knockouts World Championship. How did she do it? She did it by crook. Williams and Saints were intervened in this match. And throughout their chaos, it distracts the ref, and Kelani decides to take advantage of the distraction. She grabs the title belt and knocks Grace out from behind. She hits a chaos theory, almost does the deal. And then, like I said, you keep seeing Trick Williams and Ricky Saints. I loved how they weaved them throughout the show, and they consistently kept meeting up and kept brawling, and they kept intervening and interfering in different matches. Next thing you know, Ricky spears Trick Williams through the wall near the timekeeper's area. Then Ava Raine comes to ringside and says if they want to fight, they can do it until they can't stand anymore. 2 weeks from now, last man standing match. They resume brawling, and security resumes trying to pull them out. And that is your show. This is your NXT Who's Next with NXT recap video. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Let me know your thoughts on NXT. Once again, I think another great episode of NXT produced by Shawn Michaels. That's right. He is producing some of the best wrestling on television these days. Appreciate you guys. Until next time,